All right. As you know, the quarterback position has been all the rage in Alabama camp, and the latest news is the Jacob Coker injury. We'll see how severe it is. It seems to be a day-to-day thing, but to definitely nail down this situation, where it stands, and if the injury has had any implications, we bring in Stephen M. Smith of touchdownalabama.net to help sort this thing out. So, Stephen, of course, thanks so much for joining us. What do we know about the Coker injury? I know it's kind of up in the air, but what do you know so far?
Well, Mark, in the first part of Monday's two-a-day practice session, finding Waldo and all those comic strips is already hard enough, but at least Waldo could be spotted. Jake Coker was nowhere to be found during the media's viewing period. And, of course, it was a frenzy trying to find where was Jake Coker. Coach Saban did release via the athletic communication department that Jake Coker did sustain a minor foot injury that will keep him out of practice for several days, air quotes around the word several. The physicians, Alabama's medical staff, does anticipate a full recovery, but it is a minor foot injury. According to Saban, Coker will be out several days for practice, and this injury comes at an inopportune time since Alabama will have its second scrimmage this Saturday, August 22nd, 2015 at Bryant-Denny. It gives an opportunity for a young gun like a David Cornwell or Blake Barnett to really step up, or it may give a veteran an opportunity such as an Alec Morris or a Cooper Bateman to really shine and take that role. During last week's scrimmage, Saban came to the press conference very animated, very aggravated. I wouldn't say he was ticked off. That would not be the proper terminology to use. But he did say, I can't force the quarterback battle. I can't make someone win. Somebody has to win the team. There was very little to no separation made in the first scrimmage this past weekend. Some guys did some things well, and according to Saban, there were some things that were not done so well, and he's on the edge of his seat just waiting for somebody to play with the type of command, urgency, and leadership that the team needs to have.
Stephen, I'm going to read into it just a little bit. If we go back one season, we had Blake Sims, who wasn't able to be a starting quarterback at Alabama after 4 years in the program. Coker comes in. This kid that pushed Jameis Winston to the edge at Florida State. So he has the talent, and he was not able to wrap up the job. Sims has a nice season for Bama in 14. Same thing this year. He's not able to lay hold of the job. I don't know if this is speaking to his lack of leadership skills or just the talent is that good in the competition.
It speaks to more so of Coker's lack of instincts when a play breaks down. That's what it speaks to. When a play breaks down, Coker gets rattled. He doesn't know when to check the ball down. He doesn't know when to get the ball out of bounds and protect the down, protect the next possession. And it's one thing that Blake Sims really excelled at last year. When a play broke down, Sims, he was able to pull the ball down with his feet and pick up yardage, wasn't afraid to check the ball down to a running back if option number 1 and or 2 was not presented. And then third of all, wasn't afraid to get rid of the football, throw it out of bounds, play the next down, protect the next possession, and more importantly, protect Alabama's defense. This is a defense that has been tabbed as one of the best in the country going into this season, and Saban does not want this defense to be put in any awkward or misfortunate circumstances by having turnovers or negative plays. So that's the one thing that Jake Coker lacks right now is when a play breaks down, does he have the instincts to check the ball down, throw the ball away, protect the next possible possession, or if he was to return from the foot injury, still able to move his feet, could he still be agile enough to pull the ball down, pick up some yards with his legs, and get out of bounds? So the thing that's holding Coker back is being able to function when option number 1 and or option number 2 is taken away from him.
Stephen M. Smith joining us from touchdownalabama.net. Please join him there. He's all over the scene at Alabama camp. He's there all the time. He's listening to all the press conferences. He's there. He's involved. He knows the people and he's connected to the scene and has the latest information and insight. So if you were going to handicap this, Stephen M., in terms of who's going to win this job or how's this going to play out, if I was a betting man and I needed to rely on you, what are the odds?
The odds right now come down to this Saturday, Mark. As I mentioned, it's Alabama's second scrimmage before it starts putting in the game plan for the regular season, game 1 against Wisconsin. And as I said, if there was ever a moment for a David Cornwell or a Blake Barnett to step up, now would be that time for them to win the team and kind of push Alabama into the future of that post-A.J. McCarron era, in a sense of having somebody, a fresh face, grow and become a staple, become a familiar name, become a familiar asset. So a Blake Barnett or a David Cornwell to push, now would be the time. But if all else fails, Saban will go to his ace in the hole card, which is knowledge. And I know knowledge isn't the sexiest thing fans look at when you talk about quarterbacks. They look at the big arm, they look at the exceptional athleticism. But Saban has said in numerous times, you cannot be a quarterback in our league via the Southeastern Conference if you don't know how to manage situations, how to manage what's in front of you, and how to keep your team in position to win a football game. So with that being said, and that being thoroughly documented by Coach Saban, I wouldn't be surprised that if all else fails, he pulls out the ace in the hole card, and you could see an Alec Morris or a Cooper Bateman win the job. More so Alec Morris because, hello, he enters his 4th year on the roster. Alec Morris was a freshman in 2012 when Alabama won its 3rd national championship under Saban with A.J. McCarron as the starting quarterback. Alec Morris redshirted his freshman year in 2012, and he studied A.J. McCarron. He studied how McCarron commanded himself in the huddle, commanded himself on and off the field, and the leadership qualities that he exuded. Of course, Morris has been more so of a clipboard holder since that time period, but he knows the system. He's the lone quarterback on the roster with a national championship ring. He knows how to win. I go back to Alabama's 2013 spring game for just a moment. Alec Morris went 10 of 18 passing for 141 yards. Doesn't have the elite arm talent that Jake Coker has, and is not as mobile as Blake Sims was. But one thing about it, Alec Morris knows the system. The team loves him. He's got that chemistry, and he knows how to put the team in position to win. So when Alec Morris or Cooper Bateman, don't be surprised if the knowledge card comes out.
And this is a team that does not have the luxury of easing into the season like most do across the country. They get hit with Wisconsin right out of the gate. This is a program that schedules heavy in that opening week each and every year with the likes of Virginia Tech and West Virginia. But this might be the biggest challenge to date when you talk about Wisconsin, neutral site. I know Alabama's a lot more talented, but Wisconsin's nothing to joke with. And that they will certainly be prepared to play if they can match the athleticism, which they can't, but they will be fundamentally sound and ready to play Wisconsin, talking about the Badgers. So it is a challenge, make no mistake about it. So let's see if you've got any other news and notes for us from camp. Anything notable, Stephen?
One thing notable, the running back position, 5-star freshman Damien Harris, a young man out of Berea, Kentucky, Madison Southern High School. He, along with redshirt freshman Ronnie Clark out of Calera High School, have really emerged in fall camp. Both guys half size. Ronnie Clark, 6'2", 228 pounds. Damien Harris, 5'10", 5'11", 205 pounds. Both guys run with a low pad level, both protect the football, tough runners, acceleration and vision in the hole. And what I love about both guys, they've come in listening to running back coach Burton Burns and taking cues from Derrick Henry and Kenyon Drake. We know Derrick Henry's the bell cow. at 6'3", 243 pounds. He will get the mother load of the carries. But Damien Harris is a guy that can really spell him and really, get some carries and scratch some carries from Henry. And with both Harris and Clark emerging, it also takes pressure off Kenyon Drake, the senior, though he will see some carries in the backfield because of his experience. Having Harris and Clark emerge gives Drake more so of a chance to be that dynamic threat on the perimeter as a slot and or deep threat receiver, in his ability to have soft hands and that top-end true breakaway speed that Alabama fans saw on display, especially against Florida last season when he caught an 87-yard touchdown pass from Blake Sims. So one of the primary notes from camp, running back position, Damien Harris and Ronnie Clark stepping up. Also, on Alabama's defense, Reggie Ragland and Reuben Foster, and more so Reuben Foster, he's put on some more weight. He's protecting himself from injury, has been noted as one of Alabama's inside linebackers with Reggie Ragland in the team's nickel and dime packages. True freshman corner Minka Fitzpatrick out of New Jersey. This is the kid to watch. He's 6'1", 195 pounds, but Saban has raved about Minka Fitzpatrick's mental process. He's processing everything. It's not Marlon Humphrey that's pushing Tony Brown that second corner spot, Mark. It's Minka Fitzpatrick. It's the freshman that's pushing a sophomore for a second spot aside from Cyrus Jones. Minka has been featured in Alabama's nickel package as the corner opposite Cyrus, and also in Alabama's dime package in the money position. So the freshman from New Jersey, he along with Ronnie Harris, another freshman at 6'3", 220 pounds, being a safety, two guys that can really see playing time this year in Alabama's defensive backfield.
There you have it, folks. You hear the insight and the information. Go follow Stephen M. Smith on Twitter, ESPN_future. Also follow him on touchdownalabama.net. You will get insight and information like nowhere else on this football program. And if you love the SEC, of course, and maybe root for another team, you've got to keep an eye on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And, of course, Stephen M. Smith knows the SEC in and out as well. Always appreciate the time, sir. Great job.
No problem, Mark. Thank you for having me on. I mean, it's Tuesday, so what better way to spend your Tuesday?